On this episode of Dead and Buried Treasures Walk the Plank, we go behind the scenes of tonight's episode, Theater of Blood. And as always, I have the creator, the series creator, writer, director, star, water boy.
Adam Sandler, last week, before I was Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy here,
right,
I'm saying.
yeah. Gotcha.
So, stick around. We're going to have some fun, answer some questions.
And get a little bloody with Theater of Blood.
I hope not. I just watched this.
Okay.
Stick around. Welcome to Walk the Plank, the pre-show to Dead and Buried Treasure. I'm your host, as always, and this right here to my right.
This right here, we got him on sale. We found him out in the parking lot wandering around.
Yeah, so I brought him on the show. Although he has everything to do with Dead and Buried Treasure, so that's kind of important to
And that's
the
not because
show.
that's not because of my age either.
No.
But it does reflect that.
That'll be next week's episode. So, this week's episode, you have Theater of Blood with Vincent Price.
Yeah.
So,
Theater of Blood.
Why did you choose Theater of Blood?
Oh, we're diving right in.
I'm just hitting you with the questions right off the
Sure,
bat without
yeah.
even messing around.
You know, when you think of theater, when you think of horror or the horror genre, you have that. It's not a trinity. It's like the classic membership-only club of like Karloff and Christopher Lee and Bela Lugosi and like all the classics and Vincent Price, I think, is in that category. He has one of the most iconic laughs ever recorded in history.
Yes.
With the Thriller video, with Michael Jackson's Thriller video, and we were just talking about this off camera because the final Star Wars film's coming out, and we talked about how they did this thing with the Emperor laughing to tease audiences. Is the Emperor really alive? And it made me laugh because I saw a meme come across Facebook one day that said the Emperor's laughing and he says, ah ha 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 ha, and he says the most iconic laugh in film history, and underneath it has Vincent Price, and he has a drink in his hand. He's like, here, hold my beer. And I thought that was great because I think Price's laugh is just how they got him to laugh that day doing Thriller was just lucky. So I got Price on the show because he's one of my favorites, and he's done over 200 films, most of them horror related, and he's just an icon of horror. He's done a lot on our show already. He did The Bat.
Yeah.
He's done. He's doing a Theater of Blood. We have The Last Man on Earth coming up soon, and a few others that are just great. And he's just a real icon of the horror genre.
And he tends to love movie titles with the word house in it.
Yeah. House of the Fallen Gables, House of Usher, The House of Wax was actually the first film by a Hollywood motion picture company to be released in 3D. So Price has been around, and he knows how to scare, but he also knows how he has that level where it's just fun.
Yeah.
He keeps it fun, and light, and I think that's kind of. We have another one coming up. The House on Haunted Hill will be coming up, and
that's a classic.
The next few episodes. So he's a real icon for the genre, and I think that him on Dead and Buried Treasures is just a match made in heaven. Yeah.
So speaking of Dead and Buried Treasures, what's the theme of the show? I mean, you always have something going on there.
Well, we like to complement the movie we're hosting. And this particular installment, Price plays an actor who, in his mind, is one of the best stage actors in history. And he's up for an award, the Critics' Choice Award for the Best Actor of the Year in London, and the critics don't choose him. And it goes to someone else, and he has a bit of a psychotic break. He ends up getting killed at the hands of the critics, and he comes back to pledge vengeance on the critics who denied him his award. So I thought, for Captain Calico Drake, a nice compliment to the whole movie is, Drake thinks, well, I think it's easy, to do acting and directing. I mean, it's the easy job. And it's true. Everybody thinks that when we do these things, they're easy. Like, why can't you do like one a day, maybe one a week? It takes a long time to put together. I mean, you and I got lives. You got family and friends and other commitments and jobs. This is not a job.
This doesn't pay.
It's not our gig. It's not our thing. So it takes a while to put this stuff together. So I thought a nice parody would be, Drake thinks, it's easy to put a movie together. You set up a camera and you just do it. There's writing, there's editing, there's post-production, there's special effects, there's music, there's acquiring the rights to the film, there's blah, blah, blah. So we do a whole episode where Drake thinks it's easy to do stage work, film work. So each segment tonight, when we do the break, he's teaching, it's like Theater 101. He's teaching acting, how to do acting. It's so easy. How to do directing. It's so easy. How to do writing, scoring the music. So we have a lot of fun playing along with the Theater of Blood episode and complimenting it at the same time.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's not going to be easy, and something is going to screw things up, huh?
Oh yeah, it's just shenanigans ensue, and it's the way it always is on horror host shows like Dead and Buried Treasures. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some big news about Dead and Buried Treasures. I hear you're expanding into Fayette County and parts of Washington County.
Yeah, right. We right now, well, can't say right now, like before tonight, we were seen on our flagship station, which is Bethel Park, that covers like BPTV Channel 7, which it covers like Peters Township and Donaldson's Crossroads and all up and the Mount Pleasant, some of those areas up there where it's toward Pittsburgh. And we're also in PCTV in Pittsburgh. It covers Monroeville, South Side, North Side, downtown, those kind of things. So we're slowly taking over southwestern Pennsylvania. So the next notch in our sword belt, I guess. Sword belt? What do they call it? Frog. Put your sword. The next notch in our frog is the Uniontown area and in all of Fayette County and parts of Washington County through CUTV, which is channel 17 on Atlantic Broadband and 61, I think, on Armstrong Cable. I'll double check that if we have a break. You're watching the show tonight, obviously, the pre-show for our expanded audience through California University of Pennsylvania. And they have graciously allowed us to put the show on there as well. So I believe at this time it's seen Saturdays at 9. We're trying to get Fridays at 9 as well. I don't know if that's, we hope generally do the double feature thing, kind of Friday and Saturdays at 9. Bethel Park is Fridays and Saturdays at 11. PCTV, it's a little bit later, like a late night crowd. Like sometimes it's on at 12, sometimes it's on at 2. And they like to flip-flop that. We flip-flop it with the Chiller Night Theater horror host show that we discussed in another show with Jack Shadow as the host. So we kind of have multiple horror host shows on at the same time through Pittsburgh. And so yeah, we're expanding our audience. We're now seen through CUTV, and it's a wonderful opportunity.
Definitely. Nice shout out there to them too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gary Smith down at California University. Couldn't say enough kind words about him. He's a great colleague, and he's graciously decided to open up the market for us.
It's great. So thank you for that. I got to ask, because this is one of my favorite parts.
Do you have to ask?
I have to ask. because people are writing me every day, calling my phone. They say ask.
Ask Drake this.
Yes.
I mean,
So
not
I have
Drake.
to ask.
Ask him to ask Drake this.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
Did you bring any props? Because I always love when you always bring props, and we talk about that, some of the stuff that you use, and it just gives you a little more behind the scenes of the show.
Yeah, I did actually, and there's a little story that goes with it. Sometimes I go on location to do personal appearances and stuff. Like most notably, I love the Renaissance Festival, and I go to the Renaissance Festival every year. It's an opportunity to go out, mingle with everybody, especially on Pirates weekends. We had a contest earlier in the year. Come find me. Mm-hmm. We did a Facebook contest. Come find me at Pirates Weekend at the Renaissance Festival. And if you find me and you can tell me the name of the movie we hosted that weekend, you got a walk-on role in the show. And I believe the winner was Vanessa Pancott, but we'll get to that in another episode. But she won a role there, and I had to go out and, you go out and you just mingle with the pirates and see who really knows you, And so I go out. The first year I did this, I went out and I had, this is actually a prop I use on the show. It's a sword. This is Calico Drake's sword, and it's really nice. It's almost like a rapier. Mm-hmm. But the rapiers are generally much thinner. This has the big broadsword blade, and it's much more intimidating, like the pirates have back in the day. But I got it left-handed, because at the time the only frog I could find was a left-handed frog that would go on my belt. So when I put it on, I have to put it on this side, and I draw it with my left hand. I'm not left-handed. Mm-hmm. So it's like they'll say, well, in case you want to have some sword fights. I'm like, when am I going to sword fight anybody? I'm going to go out and start swinging.
Yeah.
And another thing too is this: I have kids come up to me at these festivals and whatnot, and they start pulling on things. I'm like thinking the whole time, where's your parents? But this one is a TV prop. It looks great on TV. Yeah, it does.
But it's foam.
It's foam. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this at home, but it kind of bad. Well, this part you can. Yeah. It's foam. And when they start pulling on stuff, they broke this last year. And I'm like, okay. So whenever I go out on location, I like to use a different sword. I use this for TV. Mm-hmm. The TV versions and things like that. But then I have this version that I'll take out on location, which is more realistic. Mm-hmm. Now, and it's not only realistic, it's actually real. Yeah. It's more of a broadsword, but it doesn't have quite the fancy base. And I like a rapier with one of those big giant rounded things, so it looks real fancy on your uniform. Because when are you ever going to take it out and fight anybody? Never, if you're smart. Especially in this climate. Yeah. So, but I like it like this. It doesn't have quite the same character that the other one has, but the other one's a prop.
Right.
This one's real. So I like to take this out when I go on location and see people for real. And so when the kids start pulling on this, they're like,
you can just hit them with the butt of the sword.
Yeah, boom.
No.
No, it's what I'm thinking in my head. But yeah, so this is what I like to use in person, mm-hmm. as opposed to the TV prop on TV. You can see there's a distinct difference between the two.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And next show, you're going to bring on your animatronic cockatoo, right?
The next show?
Yeah.
We can. Yeah.
I think we should.
Oh, well, you know what? We had Jack on a Halloween special, mm-hmm. and that I don't think has been. I don't know if it's been seen on this network yet or not. When we do these
it will
things.
be.
It might have been. It might have been seen on here. But it went over so well with the response we got, mm-hmm. that I thought we should just have a whole show where we can actually interview him and show him what he actually does and have him on the show. And I think it'd be kind of funny doing that, because even though I do the voices of Jack and Davy Bones and some of the other characters on the show, Jack has a completely different voice altogether. It's like James Earl Jones and David Prowse. David Prowse is Darth Vader, and he comes on screen and he says, and he's like, "Hi, I'm your father." And that's what he said. We need James Earl Jones. Come on in here. That's why we do it with Jack and me. So mm-hmm. Jack sounds a little different in person than the way we do when we have him on the show.
Right. So that'd be really.
So maybe
cool
we
to
have him
see.
on the next episode.
I would like that.
Maybe.
Maybe. So you know what? One of our favorite parts of the show, well, mine, because I'm not put on the spot, so it is taking calls from a lot of people that have watched the show or fans. So
Right.
that's what we're going to get into now. We have a couple people waiting online here.
Oh, I like phone calls. This is my favorite part of the show. We like to call it the mailbag.
Yeah.
Because we take phone calls from viewers, we take your Facebook questions, and if you have any, please call now. We'll get to your call in the queue as soon as we can.
Right.
But I know that it's only a half-hour show, so we try to get as many as we can. But if we don't, we'll line you up for next week. If we don't get to you, we'll have you on the show sometime. So please please call us. We love to hear your questions. This is what keeps us going. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely. So this first call here is from Bob from Oregon.
Bob from Oregon?
Yeah, what the?
Wow, that's interesting.
It seems like you're expanding a little further than Washington County here.
Yeah, I guess he's been waiting for a while.
Yeah, I guess.
Oregon, really?
Yeah. Here we go. That's what he said.
Hi, Bob. You there?
Hi, Rich. Hi, Eric. I'm a long-time Pittsburgher, but I recently moved to Portland, Oregon, and I stumbled upon your show one night on YouTube, and it's awesome.
Thank you.
We're a group of fans who watch the show here on the West Coast through YouTube, and every year we go to a celebration. It's out here along the shore. Now, you have a lot of fans out here who watch, and even though they go out to me because I'm from Pittsburgh, we just wanted to call in the show and let you know that the people who watch out here on the West Coast on YouTube with your premiere look forward to the show on Sundays. When you have these on, we're stuck to the TV, so keep them coming. Well, I look forward to seeing more.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate the call. We are. YouTube has just opened some amazing doors for people, and I'm from the old school community that remembered the world prior to YouTube, prior to 2006, and when we do this, we do generally our show when we try to hit the first Friday of the month, and there's a lot of times we just can't make that deadline. But whenever we do get that on that first Friday, the YouTube premiere is generally on Sunday, like 2 days later, and it's cool because Bob is listening in Oregon. You think, we'll just stockpile the episodes on here, or we'll just put them on there for people to see. But then when people start, we forget that it opens it up to a worldwide audience now.
Yeah.
And
now anybody can watch.
Yeah, so now they're watching in Oregon. He said a pirate celebration, a pirate themed festival.
Yeah.
It's a lot like the Renaissance Festival, I guess,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
That's kind of cool. I like that. Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Keep watching. Spread the word out there on the West Coast. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next caller is Stacy from Mount Washington.
Stacy. Hi, Stacy. How are you tonight?
Hi, Eric. I live in the PCTV viewing area here in Pittsburgh and watched your Dimension 13 episode the other night. When I saw your pre-show and the opportunity to call in, I wanted to ask you a question. On the show, you guys visited Nemacolin Castle in Brownsville, which is supposedly haunted. We saw a ghost on the show that you claimed was real, and I just wanted to know if it was actually real or if it was staged for purposes of the show.
It was real.
I'm glad she asked that. I watched that show too, and first of all, I can't say what I want to say because I'd have to edit it out
off camera.
Yeah. I called him after I saw that episode, and there's a part in that episode where you pull a little prank.
What he did?
Scared the crap out of me. Yeah. I said thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we do a little scare with a couple.
So that was a nice little jump scare there. So I'm not going to say anything else because if you haven't seen it yet, you're in for a surprise. But I was wondering the same thing about the ghost that was in the reflection there. If that was an actual ghost or someone standing there, or if you added that in. But
that's genuine.
That was pretty creepy.
Yeah, we did not fake that for anything for TV purposes. That was a genuine photograph that we got permission to use, and for those of you who have not seen the episode yet, or if you want to see the episode, you can see it on YouTube. It's when we host the movie Dementia 13, and we go on location to the Nemacolin Castle in Brownsville, and they have haunted ghost tours there every October or so. But then they completely renovate it and change the theme. At Christmas time, they have the big Christmas. Now it's all warm and cozy. It's like a month earlier, it's like, So they have a lot of fun with it. But there's a lot of history behind that castle, and I don't know when it happened for me. I was never really interested in history before, but now I have this real appreciation of history and the Revolutionary War, and especially the Revolutionary War. But there's a lot of history behind that castle. But there's a photograph where we're just taking your quick pictures around the castle, and later, upon examination of that photo, you can see a reflection of somebody wearing, which looked like turn of the century garb back like in the late 1700s, early 1800s, with it looked like a silk shirt, and he had real long black hair, but the face was all scratched out, and the photo didn't take for his face for some reason. Or there was a crack on the mirror. Anyway, it was a reflection in the mirror, so no one caught it. But when the Nemacolin, upon a closer examination, when the museum looked at it, they said there's nobody there that even matches this description that works there. So they looked at it closer, and when they reenacted the photo, the ghost would have been standing like right here,
right,
right next to you, which is deeply chilling. Because that's not possible. Yeah. And but the photograph looks the guy in the photo looks so real. You can see it looks like a guy maybe in his 30s or 40s, and it was just that was 100% real, which was one of the coolest things. When we do these kind of horror host things.
Yeah, you don't expect something like that to happen.
We did one when I was at Bethany College a couple years ago, and we were hosting monster movies, trying to prove that the old main on Bethany College's campus was haunted. And we had a live remote outside with a TV truck, and we're doing all things. We're taking breaks for coffee, and then we go back and cut in the movie. We're doing it all live, and all of a sudden there was a huge boom on the outside of the truck, like pounding. And like, holy hell, what the hell is that? We flip open the door and there's nobody there.
Nobody there. Wow.
And we looked around, there's nobody there. This was like maybe 1:30 in the morning. And if you've ever been to Bethany College, it's like one of those old campuses that are like out in the middle of nowhere. There's not even a street light in the town. Wow. There's not even a restaurant. Well, there's not even a restaurant or a bar any longer in the town. It's just very out in the middle of nowhere. And it was really creepy. And the whole crew was like, well, let's wrap up the movie. We're leaving now, So, so that photograph, genuine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good question. Our last caller we'll do here is from Lauren in Uniontown.
Oh, it is getting late.
It is.
Hi, Lauren. How are you?
Hi, guys. I just watched your episode where you are hosted in the Vincent Price movie, The Bat, and was wondering where the Batcave is in real life, and if you can tour it, or some stuff you've built for the show. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Lauren, for your call.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where the Batcave is, because if I did, then Batman would have some problems. Maybe you should field this question.
I guess this one's more
I don't
suitable
think
to me.
I mean, I guess we can tell everybody, right? I mean, this is Bruce Wayne. This is Rich played Batman in that episode, believe it or not. And my God, you did a great job, by the way. I can't tell you how many people told me they thought that we could Ben Affleck.
That's great. Thank you.
I mean, you're like, where is he? What's the one line that he says in Batman? Answer to me! And he's all rain covered. And that's what he played it like. And I was like, damn, that's really good. But
thank you. Yeah, that's my Batcave. It's real. Yep. It wasn't a prop set or anything like that. Although there's props down there. But yeah, that's my basement, my house. Right. And the clock opens up. It literally is a Batcave. It's kind of where I have a big collection. I keep my collection down there, and also usually my wife and I, that's our movie night. We go down there, turn the lights out. It looks like a movie theater. And we'll go down there and watch movies and stuff.
That's awesome.
That's kind of our escape from the kids. But maybe someday we'll do that.
Yeah, but
we'll do a tour of the actual.
I think that's a good idea. We actually angled that episode so it's not really Gotham City.
Right.
But because the island is enchanted, it kind of creates these places all over the island, like the island in Lost. You know, it does all these weird things that they're there one day and our Fantasy Island, where they're there one day and they're not the next.
Yeah.
So we didn't know Captain Drake in the plot, stumbled upon the island, and the island is enchanted with these movie curses and things, and so it wasn't really the Batcave in real life so much as it was Gotham City and Batman, but something the island concocted up based on movie history. And we looked into that with you.
Yeah, that was awesome how we kind of met a mutual friend of ours who maybe all of you know from Outtakes with Fiore. And he's a film critic in Pittsburgh, one of the best, actually.
Yeah.
And
well, he thinks he's the best.
I didn't say that. That was him.
I know I'm going to see it now, all capital letters. Hey, Erik, what do you think? What are you doing? Who do you think you are, Captain Blowhard? No, I'm just kidding.
But that's how we met.
Fiore and I go way back that we can do that. I've known him since the 90s.
My wife and my father-in-law he's family, basically.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And that's kind of how I got to know him. And then through him on a birthday party, you were there. And I kind of recognized you from Facebook, from being friends with him. And we just started talking. And he said, you were the guy with the Batcave? And then it just went from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually started. I was an admirer of his Batcave before I even met him.
Yeah.
So when he introduced me to Fiore, I was like, "You own that Batcave?"
Yeah.
I said, "I got to have it on the show."
Yeah, he said, "I got to work something out." And a few months of you coming up with a script and a movie, The Bat, to tie it in, and
yeah, it wasn't that great. It wasn't one of Vincent Price's better films. But
no,
it was
but
nice
it was
to call it The Bat.
Yeah,
because of the tie-in with Batman.
It all worked out.
It all worked out in the end. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that episode on YouTube is probably one of your most viewed episodes.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's actually has more views than any episode we've ever done on YouTube. Yeah. You're looking. Thank you so much there, Bruce.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. So that's more to come, and hopefully we'll do a tour of that. Maybe we'll have a pre-show for The Bat.
Yeah, we might bring it back.
Because there's a lot of outtakes on that one.
Yeah, and I think
I fudged up a lot.
I think the viewers would know too. Would be interested to know that he has like 2 bat suits.
Yeah.
He has like dinner material, and then he has afternoon material.
Yeah.
Crime fighting material.
Yeah. One for going out.
I mean, what you saw, the Batcave was 100% real.
It's real.
And in fact, when we go back and we looked at it again, I said, "There's only one thing I think you and I agree that we shouldn't have had in there when it says welcome to the Batcave."
Yeah,
there's a sign going down the steps. Yeah. It says "Welcome to the Batcave." I think probably in retrospect we should have pulled that, but it was great.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, so it's real.
So there you go. So we're coming up to the end here.
Yeah, we're almost out of time.
We are. So I got to ask, what do you got lined up for next week's show?
Well, the next episode, tonight we have Theater of Blood, and it'll be a lot of fun. Next episode, we're going to have a double feature.
Oh,
we have a double feature. It'll be A Bucket of Blood, if you know the Roger Corman classic, and probably the oldest horror film there, one of the oldest horror films out there, but it's such a good movie. Years ahead of its time. The Most Dangerous Game. And we'll have that next time.
All right. Well, that's a bit. That's all we have for you.
Boy, half hour goes fast when
It does. It really does. But it was fun. So we'll be back again for another episode of Walk the Plank. So be sure to check him out. We have links below for his YouTube channel. Check him out on Facebook, Dead and Buried Treasures. And make sure you call in. Call in. Give us some questions.
Keep those phone calls coming. And the Facebook comments, we wish we could get to all of them tonight, but we'll get to more. We'll answer them next week.
Yep. So stick around for the movie Theater of Blood.
It's a good one.
It is.
I'm not quite as good as Price.
No, but you're good. You're good. You're good.
I try. Try it. I'll take Price.
Yeah, me too. All right, see you next time.
Later.
Chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil be done for the rest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of mate was faced by the possum's bite. Possum's brain with a marlin spike, and a cocky stroll was marbled like, had been gripped by